Well, hello viewers. Today I am going to do a test on the cold battery performance on the Super Soco. What I'm doing today is I'm going to my work. And some of you remember that in September last year I actually did a run, and it was titled, "Is your Super Soco suitable for the daily commute?" And it tested the performance of the bike on normal road conditions, hills, flat roads, traffic. And so today I'm doing the exact identical run without any changes whatsoever, and we're going to look at how it differs from summertime to wintertime with the battery performance. So this morning the temperature is minus 3 degrees. I expect it to be a bit warmer by the time I reach our destination. It'll probably be about 3 degrees, I guess. 3 or 4, maybe 4. So that's the plan. So as you can see, and I apologise that it's going to be quite dark in the camera. The footage is going to be quite dark, but it is winter, so time is 6:30 in the morning. And it's completely different to my other video I did in summertime, leaving at the same time with short sleeves and beautiful sunshine. The sun hasn't risen yet. I have been using it for the last couple of weeks going to work, and the performance is quite bad. It's not unbelievably bad, so bad that you can't use the bike in winter, but it is a lot less, and you have to make sure you plan your trip well to be able to do your journey okay, your trip okay, your return trip especially. What I have noticed is the performance even on a flat road in winter, even with it fully charged, it seems to take a lot longer to get up to speed. And I'm only guessing this, but I suspect that it's the way that each lithium ion cell releases its power. And it seems in winter that it takes a longer period to release its energy as you're accelerating each cell, whereas if the cells are nice and warm like in summer, it's virtually instant. So they seem to be a bit sluggish is probably the word that I would use. Just to talk about the batteries while I'm just beginning the trip here. I did charge the batteries last night in the house, so they were fully charged at 23 degrees, and then I put them in the bike at the last possible minute just before I left, so that they've still got some warmth to them. So that's one way of maximising your range in winter, is to make sure that your batteries are warm. Now some of you may not be able to do that, and a friend of mine with another electric bike, he uses an electric blanket, for your bed, and he wraps them around the batteries. They're outside in his shed, and he wraps a blanket around them, and it's actually good because with an electric blanket you can control the temperature, and he has it set, and it's a lovely, I think it's around over 20 degrees actually. And yeah, just leaves the electric blanket around them, so they charge up in the evening, and then in the morning turns off the electric blanket, puts the batteries in the bike, and off he goes. And these days electric blankets are very cheap to buy, so that's another option that you can actually use. So I'm in mode 3. Currently I have 100% charge. And as I previously talked about in my original video of commuting to work, I always use mode 3. The distance that I have to travel isn't great, so I'm able to keep it in mode 3, which most of the time I can keep up to traffic. It's only the return trip up a steep hill where my energy's lower and I don't have the power to reach the proper road speed. But that's only in that one instance. So up this little hill here, I'm already going as fast as I can. And I can notice this already because in the day when it's warmer, or certainly in the warmer weather, warmer months, late spring and early summer, I can fly up this hill here. Yeah, as I said, it just seems to be sluggish in winter. Sun hasn't risen yet, it's just about to come up soon, I guess. So I'll compare the speed I'm doing now with my other video, but basically it's the same speed that I usually do. It's between 40 to 60 kilometers an hour, and I usually can try to keep that pace most of the trip until I reach the busier area, but around here it's no problem at all. It's quite a quick journey. Not so many cars or traffic at this hour of the day in the country area where I live, so I can get a good run on the Super Soco. So just up here is a short tunnel, and last time when I measured the batteries in summertime, this is the same point. So basically I've got 93% of charge just here. I think from memory last time I had 96% of charge, but I'll check that next when I look at the previous video. My feeling is that I have lost 3% of charge already. So we're just starting to get into some traffic now. And shortly up here is where I took my second measurement. And we'll have a look at this here now, and we'll just check it just up a little bit further, and then we'll check our second measurement to see where it is, and I'll compare it to the previous summertime version. So just here is where I took my second measurement of distance, and it's right where I'm stopping. It's almost exactly the same place. It is exactly the same place. So now I've got 85% of charge remaining. So it's basically 15% that I've used. So I'll compare that with the summertime information and see where that was. I have a feeling that maybe it was, I don't know, 92%. Yeah, I can't remember, but we'll throw it up on the screen. So anyhow, there's 85 kilometers remaining, so I've used 15% at this point. So just here is the only hill that I need to go up, and it's not very long hill. It's a little bit steep, but the Super Soco with the throttle flat out doesn't go particularly fast up here. I'll just wind the throttle full now. So that's it, it won't go any faster. I don't know, let's see if I can see the speed. Yeah, so it's doing 50, it'll probably slow down to about 40, I think. Yeah, so it's, it's about around between 45 and 50 kilometers an hour. That's with the throttle fully open. So, yeah, that's the sort of speed you expect on that type of slope. As I said, in summertime I can go much quicker. Just in winter you can't. It was a good trip, not so bad on the traffic. Could get some nice speed all the way. So it's a good test for the Super Soco. As I said, the temperature was -3 to start with. Around here it's a little bit warmer. We're not high up in altitude, and we're away from the mountains, so it's a little bit warmer. It's about 4 degrees now, 3 to 4. So we've reached our destination. I'll just turn around and then we'll check the data. Okay, so we've arrived, and according to the data I've got 75% of battery remaining. So on the return trip I'll do that, and I'll put some of the video footage to it. I'll edit that and just put in the key points on the way back, and then I'll put up the final video performance, how much power and charge I had left on the total trip. So that's it for today from this part of the trip. So thank you very much. I'm glad that I could actually do this morning. The weather is sensational, but as I said, it's just a little bit cold. But it is important to know your battery performance in cold weather, so you don't get any range anxiety or get stuck anywhere in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, I'll put up the data a bit later. So thank you very much. Bye for now. Okay, I'm just starting the journey back this afternoon. It's only 2:30 in the afternoon, so temperature is much warmer than it was this morning. It's about 10 degrees. I expect it to be about 8 degrees up at the mountains. So we'll see what the battery performance is like. Battery now is 73%. It's still in mode 3. So basically I lost 2% while it was sitting there in the day. It was out in the cold, so that did affect it a little bit. I lost 2% just from it sitting out in the cold. We'll see how we go coming back here. This is the short hill that I came up this morning towards the end of the trip. We're just heading down this one. This is the one, I think my maximum speed was about 45 kilometers an hour. That was up here this morning. But the last hill today on the way back is the very long, steep one. That's going to be the killer for this bike. We'll see how fast it'll go. But that's not for about another 10 kilometers yet, so we've got still plenty of time before we reach that. So this is the start of the steep hill that I came down when it was dark this morning, earlier on. It looks like this car in front is quite slow, so I won't be able to test what sort of top speed I can get up this hill. So my battery is 59%, and this is the part where I reach the steep hill. I'm absolutely flat out with the throttle now. It won't go any more. This is as fast as it'll go. And this is very typical when the battery is around that 60%, 50% area. Your voltage is getting much lower, so you don't get a lot of power out of the motor. So I just hold the throttle fully open the whole time. This part just flattens out a little bit, and I can get a little bit of a run out before the next part of the slope. So this is always a concern coming back with the Super Soco, in case there's faster cars behind me. But today there's no one behind me, so it's actually good. They're still flat out, that won't go any quicker. So I'm going the same speed as the truck. That's a 10-ton truck. Well, it's as fast as the Super Soco goes. So when you compare it uphill, you can compare it with a 10-ton truck. Along here, this is as fast as the Super Soco can go along the flat road here. Speed's quite reasonable actually. Along here, it's good. I had a little bit of a downhill so I could get a run up. Same along here, it's a nice flat road, so you can get a nice bit of speed up along here too. So here we are, we've reached our final destination. I've got 40% battery remaining. It's exactly 40% it says, which is still in mode 3 of course. So I think from memory, and all this data I'll put up on the screen at the end of this video compared to summer, but I think in summertime I had 48% or 50%. So I'm basically down 10%. So which is equals to about 10 kilometers, minus 10 kilometers with today's trip. I think the bonus today was the fact that I could have the batteries warm when I put them into the bike this morning. So that did make a big difference. But I did notice that I lost 2% today while the bike was parked because it was in the shade and cold. So it definitely does make a difference. Anyhow, this will give you some idea of the difference between the summertime and wintertime battery performance on the Super Soco. And I hope you can get something out of this video. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you.